This is the pattern piece that I created for the little bloomer pants. I just used the measurement of the child's waist and added a little extra to it, and you know, it's halved because it's going to be 2 pieces. And the way I like to make pants or shorts patterns, unless I have to do them in 2 separate pieces, is I make the back seam and the middle seam and the front together, and I just make one whole piece. This is the way my mom showed me to make pants patterns years ago, so it's kind of always worked for me, and that's what I used. This is going to be for about a 3T or 4 child, size 3 or 4. So anyway, down the leg from the crotch line to down the leg, the inseam, I guess you call it, is about 7 1/4 inches. And that's, we're going to lose a lot of that because of the way I'm going to make the pants. So it's not a big deal. If you want them to be smaller or shorter and just kind of be like actual little bloomers, you would want to take a lot of this off. Probably just have a couple inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches going down from the inseam or the crotch line. So I have, this is a really simple pattern. I've cut 2 pieces already, and I'm going to go ahead and start constructing the little bloomers or the little shorts, whatever you want to call them. Okay, the first thing I want to do with each piece is, these might be a little off, and I'll correct this when I get this sewn together, is I'm going to fold each piece over, right sides together. Just going to pin them in place real quick, nothing major. I like to pin so that things don't shift around. And I'm going to sew from starting at the bottom of where the crotch area for both the back and the front meet. I'm going to sew all the way down, and I'm going to do that on each side. Okay, so I've got both sides sewn. The next thing I'm going to do is, you see my cut for the pattern was probably a little off. I'm just going to go ahead and fix that now. And if you cut your pattern better than I did, you don't need to do this part. Okay, next thing I want to do is turn one of the leg pieces right side out. And putting the like sides together, like you've got this piece would be the back, this is the back. We're going to line them up. I guess there's really no way to get that wrong, so that was useless. I used to, when I would do these a different way, I would sew the crotch seams together, the back and the front, middle seam, and then sew the legs. And I found that they were, the seams were ripping or tearing or opening the crotch seams. So this is a much better way to do it. When I was telling my mom about that, when I used to make Daisy's little pants, she told me that the best way to do it is this way. I guess because you're sewing it, the crotch all one seam, and it just stays together better. So okay, so if you can see what I'm doing there, this is the back all the way to the front of the middle seam or the crotch seam, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to sew all the way around this. So, got that? Okay, so this is what it looks like when you sew all around this. Next thing we're going to do is just pull that leg out of there, and look at there, we already have a little pair of breeches. Okay, the next thing I want to do is create the casing for the waistband, and I'm just going to go over to the machine and sew all the way around, leaving a little space open to feed the elastic through. Okay, I've got the waistband installed. Now we need to create the bottom casing for the bloomer pants, and I kind of want this to have a little bit of an edge to it, like a little frilly edge once we install the elastic. So what I'm going to do is fold this up. I've got to open this seam. It would probably be in the way if I didn't. I think I'm going to press it. So I want these to be a little short. This is the first time I'm actually making these. I've just had them floating around in my head for a couple of weeks. But I want to line up this seam, and I'm going to take it almost all the way to the crotch line. I'm leaving about 2 inches, 2.5 inches right there maybe. And what I'm going to do is go all the way around the first time. I'm going to sew it completely around, and then I'm going to use the first line that I sewed to guide me on the second line, because I'm going to put a really thin piece of elastic in here, and I'm going to leave an opening so that I can feed it through. Yeah, so I need to do the one on the bottom down this way, all the way closed, and then the one at the top, leave a little opening to feed the elastic. So we'll go over to the machine and do that. Okay, so I've got this one sewn all around. I want to go ahead and get the next one ready, and I will do the same thing with that one, and then we'll come back and feed the elastic through. I was going to go ahead and put the elastic in this one, but I need to go ahead and make sure I've got this one even with this leg, so I'm not going to do that step yet. So I'm going to do this leg, and then I'll come back and feed the elastic through, and I'll show you the final steps. Okay, so this is our little bloomer pants after we finished making that little ruffle. And this is what you have once they're all done. And you can go in and add a little bow to the sides or to the front right here, and maybe on the waist if you wanted to. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a couple of little pink bows right here that I already have, some little ribbon bows. Okay, y'all, so I wanted to come back in and just show you the little finished bloomer pants right quick. See, I put these little bows on here. I think these could have been just a little bit tighter so they'd give them a little fuller look, and I think they would have fit around the legs of a smaller child pretty well with just a little less elastic in there. But anyway, that's it. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I'll be back with more later. Peace, y'all. Bye-bye.